think that everything that will be dated from before the Brexit referendum, markets will just discount. Adolfo Lorente, Bank J. Safra, Saracen. The United Kingdom balance of trade for May will be released on Friday. The British trade gap declined to £3,294 British million in April, the lowest deficit since September last year, as exports of both goods and services recorded the biggest rise in more than 6 years. The Brexit has caused a great amount of volatility, and one of the key concerns is negotiations. Adolfo Lorente, do you think that the data released on Friday will have a big impact on the markets?
No, at the contrary, I think they will be completely discounted by the market. Brexit has been a watershed in our understanding of the outlook. I think that everything that will be dated from before Brexit referendum, markets will just discount. All the eyes will be on the data that will come in the future following the referendum, and that will be much more telling about the new realities. And by the way, we expect that when the data for July will come in a few months, they will show a sharp worsening of the trade position of the United Kingdom.
The Caxton China Services PMI for June will be out on Tuesday. Data for May stood at 51.2, a decrease from 51.8 in April and missing market consensus. Do you believe data for June will follow this downward movement?
It's most likely. I think the latest number that we have seen from China has been disappointing. Last week we had some manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI. Overall, the service sector seems to be holding up better, but on the manufacturing side, we are seeing some weakening. There is no denial that the Chinese economy is going through some further adjustment. There was a policy-driven, mostly credit-driven boost at the beginning of the year. Now authorities are reining that growth a little bit back, but this creates these short up and downs, these short cycles in the economic data. The boost is over, and now we see the retrenching, which makes us believe that probably we'll see another policy intervention later in the year to support Chinese growth. For the time being, that is not happening, hence the fact that we are a little bit more bearish about incoming data over the next few weeks.
The US unemployment rate for May beat market expectations and declined by 0.3% in May to 4.7%. This was the lowest reading since November 2007. Figures for June will be released on Friday, and the market is expecting a rise of unemployment to 4.8%. Do you agree that US unemployment rate will rise in June, and do you think it is indicative of the US economy?
Yes, I think it's entirely possible, and it's our expectation that probably the unemployment rate will move up, but that's because of the drivers of the big drop 1 month ago, which is not much an increase in the number of job positions that were created. It was more driven by a drop in the participation rate. We think that will in part drop back to the normal trend, and hence will create that uptick in the unemployment rate. So no, it will not be indicative of current labor market condition in the United States that remain fairly favorable. We have several readings from the ISM surveys to the initial claims for unemployment benefits that are consistent with a much better pictures than we have seen recently. Job creation was very disappointing in May. We believe it may be an aberration. What we expect to see on Friday is a rebound in job creation to level more consistent with the other indicators I just mentioned. So overall, we think the labor market in the United States will continue to be fairly positive, and we also expect the growth overall to accelerate in the second half of the year after a very disappointing first quarter. So at the moment, the U.S. is weathering the storm of Brexit, and we think this will be the final outcome over there over the rest of the year.
Thank you, Adolfo Laurenti, for joining us. That's all for Week Ahead. Make sure to keep a close eye on all the Forex market changes with us on Dugascopy TV.